I know this could be a relatable thing for a lot of people with brain injury. Being accepted, being part of the world, um, it, it's kind of weird because I can sit in a room and interact and be like everybody else, but I know I'm not like everybody else. Not that I'm different with personality and stuff, but just because of the injuries. I don't look at the world the same. I don't feel about things the same. And, then you grow. You grow and you change. I mean, before the accident, I actually was very, very down. Didn't have any self esteem really, and just kind of went with the flow. Did my job, got home. But now it's different. I guess because after something devastating happens, you assess your life and you see so much more of what life has to offer. And then when you have still a barrier to get involved, a barrier to live, a barrier to be independent, to speak and be heard, compared to just speaking and feeling like you're talking to yourself. And a lot of times it is because disabilities such as mental health illnesses, brain injury, becoming older even, you have limitations at times. Having any kind of illness, you have it's a separation. And having limitations, I don't like asking for anything from anybody. I really, really don't. It crushes me. And I know you have to sometimes, and I don't choose that because I've been independent. And I've always been the one taking care of people, and there are times that you want to express how you're feeling, you want to express, and you don't. Sometimes it's a burden. You feel you're burdening people. You don't know what kind of reaction it would be if you were honestly saying, this is what I'm struggling with, because your struggles may not be as hard to other people as they are to you. But in your life, whatever you face, you perceive as something different compared to someone else who can, hey, let me tell you what you can do about it and give you the answers. It's very easy to do that when you see someone else struggling. You could take yourself out of it. You could, but through this, through my injuries, I've learned that I can still separate, and that's good. And it's scary to be able to separate yourself all the time. Though, yeah, the emotions are there and all that. At the end of the day, I can still take myself out of the situation and try to figure it out. And I think it's more I've kind of learned that because I am alone. Who knows about what you're dealing with except for you? And I've learned to compensate and figure it out. And sometimes, yeah, it takes longer depending on how hard the situation is. And yeah, sometimes I have my emotions that come out first, and I try to taper it back to figure out, okay, what do I need to do? That humanness is there. I'm not a superhero, though I wish I could have a cape on. And sometimes you take up space and you walk in like you're a stranger in a familiar setting with familiar people, but you don't feel like you are part of that group, but yet you're accepted as part of the group. It's like a dream. My dream is to be a part of life, but I don't know how to be. I know a lot of people struggle with that. How do I become an acceptable part of the world? You can try as hard as you can, but I think it comes down to not letting this disease, this brain injury, this diagnosis rule you as you. We can be better than any negativity, and we can be better than any diagnosis, but it takes work, and I get tired like everybody else, and I hit walls, and I have a hard time climbing back from the wall, but I climb back. I am grateful that I do have my twins, because they're my motivation to keep going. If I didn't have my twins, I don't know what would motivate me so much. I mean, my faith, sure, but having the girls trying to be someone that they can see as a viable person, not just someone who's brain injured who happens to be called mom. Because that's the other thing I deal with, is feeling lesser, feeling less than what I should feel, because I have injuries. I can't control that, and I have to keep explaining myself. And that's it. I have to explain myself to me, why I can't do certain things, or why, and then trying to explain it to the kids, it's very difficult, because I look fine, I talk fine, so the takeaway maybe is to not be so hard on yourself, and to accept you for you, and know that though you have those quirks and everything that other people have, you're still unique in how you have survived and how you have come to today. I keep having to renew myself and look at every day as a new day, because how else do you survive unless you are thankful at the end of the day? And if God has you wake up the next day, you know you have something to do. You know you have something to accomplish. And even if that's doing a video like I do, or accomplishing something, or making someone smile, or walking my dog, it's something. I was feeling a little down tonight, because that loneliness sometimes really gets you to a point that you're sitting here and you look around, but yet you don't have any company. You're not entertaining. You're not sitting here with people that you can talk to and joke around with. But it's that perspective of, okay, well, it'll happen. Times will happen that I won't be so alone. But I have things to work on for me, so I need to concentrate on that. And but it gets overwhelming sometimes. But that's part of life. So hopefully, I can get everything going, that I can branch out and get out there again, be a part of this wonderful world, because I do see positives to it. Never did before, because I was so down, but now I do see There's some beautiful things in the world. It's just a matter of being a part of it. And I so want to be a part of it, and I don't know how to be a part of it. Because when I go out there, people don't see the injury because I've worked with myself so much, you don't hear it so much. I stumble sometimes on words, but I don't have major things physically getting in my way. Processing, yeah, it's a little slow sometimes. My stress level, sure, that's the big battle for me. But for the most part, I don't have people even seeing anything, but yet I get questioned a lot of why don't I do this? Why don't I do that? You know, we know what we're capable of doing and what place we're at since we're with ourselves 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And when you're trying to accomplish goals, they're different paces. And I take one at a time. I concentrate on that one to try to resolve it. I have little things in between, tweaking things, but goals for me are goals. One thing, if I have too many things going on and there's a failure, that's going to throw me off too. If I go one at a time, I just take my time, I can conquer a lot. But there are pieces that lead up to accomplishing your goal. So there's more than just one thing you're working on, really. And you can prepare for the next goal by doing little things. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, you know, of course, my goal is to get a car. But my goal is also to get money in the bank to be able to have that money for a car, have that money for a new place eventually, because I'm on waiting list. But you have to be able to have all those facets together. So then it's looking at my budget more and looking at what else can I do. So figuring out those little pieces, and then my weight is actually going down more without me even trying, because with this healing and with the eating so healthy, it just happens. And now with the stress I've been dealing with, I'm noticing that weight just kind of falling off, and that's kind of weird for me because that's never happened. And now I have to make allotments in case the weight goes down too much. I'm not going to have a lower size clothing. So, I mean, there's so many little things to deal with. Good things, odd things to me. So there are things I'm watching as I'm going. So, you know, I like to give at least something to people, something to think about, like I've said in the other videos. So maybe this can get you on a course to see the fact that, you know, you are doing very well. I'm going to tell you, you're doing fantastic. You are. And to keep going and, you know, keep to work on that sculpture, because you can accomplish, even if they're the smallest little feats that people won't know except for you, you're accomplishing. You know, I'm amazed that I can get up every day. I can be thankful every day. I have energy every day, because at one point I did not have anything. I didn't have any energy. I couldn't get up. I was sleeping a lot more than I should be sleeping, but between depression, anxiety, and PTSD, and eating the wrong foods really does affect you. For the first time in over a year, I had popcorn, and I was reacting to corn a year ago. So far, so good. I haven't reacted. I'm not going to make it an everyday thing, but once in a while I can dabble into something different and be okay. It's not causing me brain fog, thank God. It's not causing me any kind of reactions, which is good. You know, with gluten sensitivity, you can have a radar of what happens to me if I eat something I shouldn't. And the popcorn I had was pretty plain, so, but it's the fact of having the corn again, because corn, your body doesn't break down that well. So the popcorn, though, even when you're celiac, you can have that. I'm gluten sensitive, but as long as you watch what's in it, technically you can have it unless you react to seeds or nuts or like that, and that could be in the same family. So, but so far it's okay. So I'm very grateful for that I got to have that snack. So, but until next time, you have a good night, and I'll see you soon.